Hi guys, and welcome back to another weekend reading vlog. It's a bit more of a weekend actually. So currently it is another May bank holiday weekend, but I've also got some time off at the end of May going into June because we were actually supposed to be going to Amsterdam for my boyfriend's birthday, but obviously that's had to be postponed, so we still have the time off, and we're just going to try and make the most of it really. So I thought I would do a little bit of, so I thought it would be the perfect time really to kind of do another Harry Potter reading vlog, and I am up to book 6 and I am on Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. If you would like to see the vlogs for all the other reading vlogs I've done, like the last one was Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, but I also visited the Warner Brothers studio tour thing as well, so that was really fun. Then I will link the most recent one up in the cards for you. I'm so gutted because I had one of my, this is one of the bookmarks that I got from the tour actually. I had my other Ravenclaw bookmark ready in here to read, and I knew I should have clipped it on here properly, but I just sort of popped it in like that, ready to read for today, and it slipped out somewhere and I can't find it, so I'm kind of on the look for that. But yeah, so I've got my video editing in the background. It's just a book haul, and I am starting this vlog later than I would like to usually start like a new book and a new reading vlog, but I needed some editing done. And yeah, so it's about like I think 2:30 or so at the minute, if my timing's right. And yeah, I'm kind of, it's weird, I want to read this and I'm trying to finish these before the end of the year, so hopefully I will, because this will just leave the last book of the main series. But I'm also kind of not in the mood for it because I don't know, I feel like I want to read this in more like an autumnal scene. It's quite dark, and obviously the current climate at the minute is kind of a dark, uncertain one, so I don't know how I'll feel, but I'll also just love being in this magical world. Other things to think about, I guess. So yeah, I'm going to be starting this today. Hopefully we're going to go for a little walk. It's very, very windy though, because I had originally intended to sit out in like a park or whatever and read for a bit whilst my boyfriend does a bit of jogging. But I don't know if we're going to do that, so I think I'll just start this at home and then we'll kind of see what happens throughout the rest of the day. But yeah, so I've got 3 days for the long bank holiday, and then I'm in work Tuesday and Wednesday, and then I have like 5 days booked off. So hopefully I get to read a big chunk. I don't know if I'll finish it during those days, so the vlog might have to extend a little bit, like another week or 2. But let's see how much we can read during my like spotted time off, and I'll catch you in the next clip. Should have put our bug spray on.
I think we need to make oat balls.
Oh, like cake pops, but
No,
they're like cake pops, though, like little balls, right? But not on a stick.
yeah. And they got, look, they got oats.
They're sweet though. Could you put molasses in it? I think it's syrup.
Yeah. Yeah, they're on the fighters. Oats, dark chocolate, peanut butter, honey, and something else. And roll them into like little balls.
Nice. I bet that would be good. Little snacks. Don't put dates in it though, because when I see balls like that by like Naked bars, they're all dates in it, and it's, I think that's what's making it sweet, but I really don't like the taste of dates.
I always people saying about try dates and like that.
Stumbled upon a fairy world. Oh. Wow. This little grove, a little alcove of growing trees. I think this is tied in with the local nature reserve as well, so that's why. Oh, it's cute. It also kind of looks like a summoning circle, so let's get the heck out of here. Oh, shut up! I wouldn't even say that. Have I seen this film Pet Cemetery? Go on. Some more tags. Maybe let's go back down. thought it was for the protection of ecology. Eee. Did you call me a nerd? You reach a fork roads. Which way do you turn? Left or right to the evil gnomes? Left to the magical ponies. Let's frolic! So, not an awful lot of reading has been done today. It's probably going up to like, I don't know, it's between the 6 and 7 PM realm, and I feel like I've been on my phone for way too much today. I haven't even turned the telly on. I've just been like watching, you know, when you just fall down the rabbit hole of watching a load of crap on YouTube and you don't even know how you got here and why, but you're just there, and that's the vibe. So I have now come into the boudoir to just dedicate some time to read. My phone is on charge in the living room at the minute, so yeah. Oh, also, I meant to say this earlier, but I found my other bookmark. This is what I was talking about when I said I couldn't find it. Why am I out of focus though? It was, so I discarded my work uniform on the floor and kind of just left it there, and I must have passed it with my book, and I told you how this was just slotted in and it must have just flown out, and I kind of thought it might be there. I had like this weird dream where I woke up in the night and I was like furiously thinking, like basically the dream was I was looking in these spots where it was likely, and that was one of the spots, and I thought okay, and then I went back to sleep and I kind of forgot. But as I was picking up washing to put it in the washing machine, it dropped out, and I was subconsciously telling myself to shake it because I don't usually shake my clothes, and I guess I kind of did, even though I wasn't realising that I was doing that. And this dropped out, and that was very long-winded. So where am I actually in terms of reading? I think I'm on, is it the 5th? No, I'm on, oh no, I am on the 5th chapter, yeah, because I put my bookmark in a bit funny. I am on chapter 5, An Excess of Phlegm. That's a nice place to be, isn't it? Wow. So far, I feel like I haven't gathered a lot of thoughts just yet. I'm happy that we've had kind of like this introduction to the magical world. Not an introduction, but this being one of our first chapters of a magical world and the Prime Minister, and how it's going to greatly affect the mortal world with this massive battle and stuff. And then I like that we then went to, did we go to that one first? Yeah, the other minister. And then we went to, what's her name? Narcissa. I really like to think about that. A scene with her like being distraught, and she just made like the unbreakable oath with Severus and that. I wonder how that's going to come to play, and I don't know how to feel about Severus because I'm pretty sure he is one of the good guys, so I don't know how, like the double crossing situation, now he's made this oath, I don't know how that's all gonna come to be. I bet you're all like, oh, just wait Jen, just wait. And now, yeah, as I say, we're on a excess of phlegm. So we're seeing a bit of Harry, and he's just got taken by Dumbledore to stay at the Burrow with the Weasleys for the rest of the summer. Yeah, so that's where I am at the minute. Not an incredible lot has happened, but they're making moves, you know, they're making waves. I guess I'll just check in when I've got more to say. I just kind of wanted to update you with like where I am in terms of reading, and it's been a very quiet day today, just scrolling on the internet for some addictive strange reason. Happy bank holiday guys, it is bank holiday Monday and we've not too long just come back from a bit of food shopping. I think we're going to go back out for like an afternoon walk, but we're going to be sitting rather than exploring, so I think hopefully I can get a bit more reading done. I've only read a few more pages, but I'm around about 105ish pages of Harry Potter, and I think that brings me into like chapter 5, chapter 6. And again, not an awful lot to say just yet, but it's just kind of like, I think everything's going to happen when they get to school, because obviously there's going to be situations with Draco and him, you know, as we know, being like part of the Death Eaters now, and Harry and that having suspicions. So we'll see how that all turns out, but at the minute they're just in Diagon Alley getting their school supplies and books and such things. So yeah, and they've just seen Fred and I can't remember his other name, the Weasley twins, I cannot remember both their names, sweet shop or comedy shop, and it sounds so amazing, like it sounds so cool. I do find it suspicious how nobody's like suspicious of Malfoy because everyone knows he's a dick, so I wouldn't be surprised if he did try to worm his way in. And the fact that we know that because we saw the scene, I feel like we got told a little bit too much. I would have liked to have been kept guessing, but there's my thought.
You got me trapped inside this spell. Now I feel it. Your demons drag me close to hell. I can feel it.
So this will probably be my last check-in before bed, or for tonight because I'm going to bed. And my last check-in for a couple of days because I'm at work and then I'm off. But Wednesday is my boyfriend's birthday, so you know, it will just be spotted here and there for now. But I'm currently on page 168 and I'm on the House of Gaunt. I've just read the chapter called The Half-Blood Prince, and I'm really interested to see where this goes, especially because Ginny was like suspicious of him following what a book was saying, because obviously she had that situation where she was basically possessed by Riddler, or whatever his name is, Riddle. I can't remember, Voldemort basically. And yeah, that's interesting, but I don't know if it's that sort of suspicious. And for some reason I had it in my head, like when the films were coming out, that Harry was a Half-Blood Prince, so I guess I will see if that's the case here. If not, at the least who this Half-Blood Prince is, because that chapter, even though it was like the title name, didn't give a lot away, but I'm assuming, you know, there's more to come, more to unravel. I'm now at the point where Harry's having his first lesson with Dumbledore on the first Saturday, and they've just gone through the pensive and they're following this guy's memory, so it's going to be interesting to see how this ties in with what they need to know for Harry's like safety and probabilities of why things are the way they are and stuff. So yeah, I'm actually really pleased with how much I've managed to get read this weekend, considering the fact that I was not reluctant per se, but not super in the mood to read this at this time. But I don't know, I'm really enjoying it, and it is quite fast paced, it's going quite fast. To be fair, nothing's really happened. My boyfriend keeps going, oh, what part are you at now, because he remembers the films. But like they basically not too long just got to school. Hello. They basically just got to school and classes are starting, so not a lot has happened. But they're making moves for the plot development, so we shall see. It's quite a start, but it's fast paced, if that makes sense, or it's fast reading. So yeah, I'm going to finish off this little bit, maybe this chapter, and then I'll be going to bed. Sorry if I've got food in my teeth, I'm in the middle of eating my dinner. But it is my first day off on holiday, off annual leave, and I've only been reading like a little bit of Harry Potter, but I'm pretty much halfway, just about halfway in now. And I got to the point where they were doing their first match, their first Quidditch match of the year, and I really liked the bit where it turned out that Harry didn't actually spike Ron's drink with the lucky juice, and he sort of, it was almost like, what do they call it, that's like, what's it called, reverse psychology. It made him think that he did it, and he felt lucky and he felt confident, and it was actually really nice to see, and that he had planned that as well, which is quite funny. But you know, that was actually really nice to see that, you know, when he believes in himself, Ron can achieve things. But it was strange how suspicious it was with like the good weather, some of the Slytherin team not being there and all that. But yeah, I liked that bit.
me trapped inside this spell. Now I feel like your demons drag me close to hell. I can feel that.
Tried to connect it to the living room and do the speech thing so it came up, but neither of those work. So I kind of clicked on the video and it was in my currently watching, so here we go.
Ow. I got the ball. Back in scratch.
Dun, dun, da, 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 da. just a quick one because I'm about to have some breakfast, even though I think it's like past breakfast time. But I felt a bit uncomfortable actually reading. So they're at Slughorn's Christmas party at the minute, and I felt a bit uncomfortable reading how Hermione has escaped McLaggen, because I want to say McLovin. Well, I guess, yeah, because he basically is not very gentlemanly, so it makes me assume that he's tried it on with her and she's like had to push him off or whatever. And that's horrible, because then Harry was like, well, you deserve it for, you know, for inviting him or for going with him. And I was like, nah man, nobody deserves that. That guy's a dick. Yeah, rightly so, her and Ron shouldn't be trying to make each other jealous, even though it's kind of funny. But also, she doesn't deserve being treated how McLaggen has assumedly treated her under the mistletoe. Yeah, bless her. Now she's just not even enjoying the party, she's just trying to run away from him and hide. So that's not even fun. But yes, who have we got now? Oh, we're going to the part where Snape is at this party, and Slughorn has made it known that Harry is very impressive in potions class, which obviously Snape had been the teacher for the past 5 years for Harry in potions, and he hated it and never showed much promise. So now he's clearly going to get very suspicious about this situation, and now it makes me wonder if that advanced potion making book is actually Snape's. I don't know now. Well, you would assume that it was Voldemort's. Yeah, especially as the Half-Blood Prince, right? Because now I'm learning more that his dad was a human, a mortal, and his mum was a witch. That makes him half-blood, I guess. But it also, you know, knowing that Snape's really good at potions and he's been the teacher for how many years, I kind of wonder, is it his as well? But I think it is probably Voldemort's. But still, the suspicion is going to increase because he's going to be wanting to know why he's suddenly so good. Is he trying to show off at Slughorn to reap the benefits, which clearly Harry is not interested in because he doesn't even want to be at this party. He doesn't want to make these connections and he's not using them. But obviously Snape's not going to see it that way. So yeah, I'm enjoying it so far, obviously. So I accidentally had a nap. I hate napping, I just don't find it beneficial for me. So to get out of the sort of desire to go back to sleep again, I've come out of the bedroom. I really do want to go for a walk because that will just wake me up, I think. And also it's only 2 o'clock, which is nice. I thought it was going to be way later than that because I kept sinking back into sleep. Even when I was getting up I was like, nah, I just went back to sleep again. That I was in and out of it. So yeah, I think a walk will do me good. So let's see. Also, I've just gone into my clock settings on the camera because I always find the times a little bit off, especially when I say what time it is and then I put the time in and it's like not the right time. So I looked at it and it looked like it was a half an hour slow to what the actual time is. So unfortunately the previous footage will still be out of whack with the time, unless I remember that it's actually like half an hour slow in editing. But hopefully now that I've set it, everything else will be like the correct information for each clip. Yeah, I think that made sense.
You got me trapped inside this spell. Now I feel like your demons drag me close to hell. I can feel that.
Had a
can feel them, I can feel them, I can feel them do well. I can feel them, I can feel them, I can feel them, I can feel them pull me down.
Hi, so we didn't have an awful lot of reading done today. We had a lovely social distancing birthday barbecue at my boyfriend's dad's house. There's a massive garden. We went through the back. I think I've said we've done something similar before, but this time it was a barbecue for his birthday and it was so much fun. But there's still much more of the evening to do, so I might pick up some reading. I've only read for like about half an hour today, but I can carry on. But that's an update. Good morning all. So last night I didn't end up reading any more of this. We actually watched The Theory of Everything, which was the story about Stephen Hawking, which was absolutely beautiful. I really recommend watching that if you haven't. So after that it brought us up to like 12, so we went to sleep. I don't know if any of you were looking out for it, but I think Elon Musk launched his rocket and apparently you can see it. I couldn't see it where I am, but my friend in Wickford saw it as clear as daylight, and she sent us a video, which is really cool. But yeah, so I'm seeing my other friend today, a social distance walk. She's recently had a baby and I'm going to see him from afar as we sort of walk and chat with each other, which I'm so excited to do. I haven't seen her in months. She's like one of my best friends, so that sucks, but hopefully the weather was so nice today we can hang out for a couple of hours and that. But before that, I'm thinking I'm going to get some of this read. I haven't got an awful lot, to be fair. Maybe that's like 150, 200 pages-ish. But I was hoping, low-key hoping to finish it before the end of the month. Today's the 31st. Because I kind of wanted to film my May wrap-up today. But knowing that this isn't done annoys me. So I might not bother and just film it tomorrow or the day after. But we shall see. Either way, this is probably not going to be in my May wrap up, so I don't know. It depends how much I can get read today, and maybe depending on how late I am out today, if I can get this done, but I doubt it. But yeah, so those are my thoughts so far in terms of the day, reading progress. I'm shocked at how like quick I've been able to read this, because I feel like before it's at least taken me a whole month to kind of slowly get through it. I don't know. It depends, I guess, but yeah, I found the pacing of this so good, easy, quick. So I'm just going to stop rambling now and go ahead and start reading some of these with my coffee in my little cat cup, which has become one of my favourite mugs. Awesome stuff. Before I drop it. Ugh. So yeah, I'll catch you in a moment. So when Harry managed to actually get the memory from Slughorn, I wasn't very happy with the tactics that he used. And I don't even mean using his luck, because that was actually pretty clever, I didn't think of that. But how he got onto the conversation of the death of his parents, and how Lily, his mum being Slughorn's favourite, kind of almost manipulated him into helping Harry, which I get, because it's like for the greater good, and obviously Dumbledore really needed that memory unaltered to kind of think about the next plan. But I really don't like how it was used to, I don't know, just it left a bad, oh sorry, it's gone all dark, it's left a bad taste in my mouth, to be quite honest. And yeah, I wasn't keen on that. I also, being this close to the end, I'm on page 413 or 412, I would have thought we'd have more, like, it's just like the creeping of the plot of he said, she said, what are they up to, and I thought there would have been a lot more of things actually happening, if that makes sense at this point. I am still thoroughly enjoying it. It's just, it kind of feels like it's ambling along a little bit, you know? Strange. I bet everything's going to go chaotic at the very last like page or chapter or whatever, and it just feels like things could have been happening now. So the soul being split up into 7 ways and going into 6 Horcruxes, is that why there's 7 books? Because if so, that's kind of a cool thing. And just recently I was reading a book where 7 was a thing, and it's quite a cool thing that that's one of the most powerful numbers, because I was trying to hint at that in my written review for this book and I couldn't quite grasp it, but it's just solidified it here in that scene. And also that scene with Dumbledore, they've just gone through the true memory of Slughorn, and he's basically rambling and trying to get Harry to understand the difference of how making a prophecy significant affects everything. And that was so powerful. I was like, yes, like the way he was saying it was more fevered and quick and trying to get it into him. And I was like reading it so quick, and I was like, yeah, I get it, I totally get it. And I was like, oh wow. So that was pretty cool. And yeah, I'm waiting for like crazy things to begin now. And about the Horcruxes, I remember that word being used, and I think, is that what my necklace is? So silly. But that seems like to be one of the main key words, and for some reason I completely forgot about it throughout this whole time reading these books until that was the chapter or whatever, or they mentioned it, and I was like, oh yeah, that's supposed to be a big thing, let's see what happens. So yeah, learning more about that was quite interesting, and this whole soul splitting thing is just really intense. So I didn't end up finishing this last night because we ended up watching Forrest Gump, and I hadn't seen that in its entirety before, so I really enjoyed that. So I've been sitting reading this for the morning. I should hopefully finish it soon. And Dumbledore's just been murdered, and that was such a scene, like the whole scene trying to find the Horcrux in the cave that they went to, and now it being apparent that that Horcrux wasn't even a Horcrux. So who's the person that found it originally, and has it been destroyed? Who is this person? And then the whole bit with Snape, like, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if this was some, even still I'm wondering, is this some trick, you know? Is Snape secretly still with the Order of the Phoenix, and I had hoped it was like a fake death or something, but they've just all found the body, and clearly not. I don't even know. The whole thing with the vanishing cabinet, and that's what Malfoy was fixing, that was quite clever actually. I wouldn't have thought about that. I don't even really remember the vanishing cabinet, to be fair, or Montague or whatever his name is. I can't remember who that character is, to be fair. But yeah, I don't even know what to say. Like that whole scene, it just happened so quick. Like throughout this whole thing I was like thinking, when is there going to become a battle? Because like surely that can't be that, well, I thought it'd be the whole of the 7th book, but I thought surely there'd be more build up, and there was, in terms of like looking for things to defeat Voldemort and stuff, but the battle literally began and pretty much ended within the last like 50 pages, which I'm still reading, but basically yeah, so it's just so, the timing has shook me. And obviously the events that have unfolded within this battle has also shook me. I don't know where Hermione is. I haven't even heard of her in the battle. I saw Ron and Ginny and Neville and that. About Luna, yeah, many thoughts, many overwhelming thoughts. So I've just changed the calendar to June, and I'm triggered. I'm very sad. So it's just even more painful because I had suspected that something was off with Rosmerta. Just when she came running out, I thought, oh, this is all a bit convenient, and she seemed, I don't know, she just seemed off to me, even though I haven't had many encounters with her. And then the death mark, it flicked in my mind, maybe that's a trap and they're racing there and they're going to be the death. It's kind of like preluding that, and I guess that kind of was the case because it was to lure Dumbledore there. But yeah, it's just so sad. His face is now in the portrait in the office, and they're just awaiting the ministry. So yeah, what's going to happen to Hogwarts? What's going to happen to everyone? Like, these kids need counselling. This is such a traumatic time. But yeah, sad. Let's be happy for a moment with a kitty. Hello. Hello, kitty. Hello. Oh, kisses. 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 She's been licking this spot a little too much. Now it's gone all like stringy. Elsa. Boop. 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 And I have finished. Whoa, I feel like I've pretty much said everything that I generally wanted to say whilst doing this vlog, but I've given this a 4 out of 5 stars. I'm left like emotionally drained. Yeah, that was a really good book, really chunky, fun. I mentioned in my Goodreads review, so if you're interested, my profile always links in the bottom of the description, but I did feel like it took a while to actually get to any main obvious plot, and I feel like that started to come in when Horcruxes, oh my god, I can't say it, were brought into play, and then more about that. So that's when I noticed like the plot really speeding along and getting more action packed and stuff, which was really cool. Although it took a while, I would say most of this does feel a bit fillery in that sense, but it's all good filler because I love reading about them at school and stuff, and it seems to be that will be the last of that now, by the sounds of things, because Hogwarts may be closing down. Yeah, I don't even know how to wrap up this part of the video, but I'm now going to continue on with my day. My boyfriend, who for some reason I didn't realise, but he's got like the box set of the movies, so I am going to be watching the corresponding film with him at some point today, maybe tonight, and then I'll come on here, do my little thoughts about the film, and probably a bit of comparison as usual. I can't seem to help doing that, and then I will end the vlog. But yeah, the novel is finished. I've got one more to go. So I'm just coming on here to quickly wrap up my thoughts of the movie. I'm literally just going to read what I've written on my phone, just so I don't forget anything, because I am super tired now. I've got the music at the end screen credits playing at the minute, but here it is. So I ended up giving the movie 3.5 out of 5 stars, so a lesser rating than the book. So the beginning got to the point rather hasty. I was a bit confused, especially because the start was a bit random to me, but as I said in my book review, there was a lot of filler, so for the movie it worked out in this favour, that it cut out some parts. Yeah, I do think some important scenes like the Prime Minister chapter and the chapter when the new Minister of Magic gathered Percy and gatecrashed Christmas at the Weasleys, I feel like those should have been included for context. I loved how I love seeing how Slughorn was presented to the screen, but I would have liked to have seen him come across more with his infatuation of making connections and his numerous amount of parties, because yeah, I did get like creepy vibes from him in the book, but he kind of looked really just creepy, like he liked having kids about him rather than the actual concept of him liking connections and being known by famous people and saying that he was the one that kind of mentored them. It just came across kind of different and a bit uncomfortable. You can see the blossoming of romance straight away with the movie, a bit too obvious for my liking personally, but it was nice to see it flesh out. I did enjoy the more open discussions about romances. For example, the scene where Hermione was like openly crying to Harry and saying, how does it feel seeing Ginny with Dean? Is it like how I feel basically seeing Ron with Lavender? And he was like, yeah. So that was really lovely to see. One other difference, because I always feel like their relationship is kind of like cold, they never really talk about meaningful emotions, if you know what I mean. Like they talk about meaningful stuff, but I've never really noticed them like comfort each other in that way, which is really nice to see. So the rest is kind of like differences really. So some of the other differences was Mr. Weasley seemed to know more about Malfoy and the Vanishing Cabinet than he did in the book. In the book he was kind of like disregarded it because he sent people to check and nothing came about it. And Tonks and Remus seemed to be in a more obvious relationship, And then the fire to the burrow, that was like a random scene. I don't know where that came from, but I wasn't too keen on that one, to be fair. Lavender was way too over the top in her romance with Ron, and you didn't see any kind of idea as to where this came about, because in the book it was nice and subtle. She was hanging out with her friend, and then all of a sudden they was just like kind of casting looks, and it was like, oh okay, maybe they like each other. But from the beginning in this film, she just seemed to be oddly obsessed. Like, I didn't know where it came from, and she was way too over the top. It was kind of stupid and cringy to watch, actually. Erica the Spider, the whole scene came across as far more comical than in the book. I did think it was funny, but I think I preferred like the sadness and stuff, and how that built up to Harry asking Slughorn, like telling him the truth and stuff about the memory, because I wasn't too keen on the approach that they took for the movie. But again, I completely understand. I'm not trying to do a book versus movie, but I just can't help but notice like comparisons and differences and see which I prefer in terms of the book and the film. What else have we got? I was kind of disappointed actually to see that there was no actual fight after Dumbledore's death with the Dumbledore's army and the Death Eaters. Like, it was just so anticlimactic, actually. That was the one thing that I was amping up for in the novel, and as I've said here in this vlog, I feel like it was only in the last 50 pages, but at least we got something, whereas in the movie we didn't even get that. So it was like we was building up for just his death, which was still iconic and significant, but there was no like adrenaline pumping, you know what I mean? Both myself and my boyfriend actually noticed that everyone looked really pale and ill in this film. Like the overlay or the editing or something, they just looked kind of ghostly, and almost like how you'd imagine a scene when someone's like having a flashback or something, or a dream, where you're like, oh, is this really happening, or we're just seeing in their mind's eye sort of thing. But it was throughout the whole film, and actually my boyfriend mentioned it and I had noticed it, but I'm glad that he brought it up as well. I was wondering if it's just the vibe they were going for, to kind of physically show that this world, this series has become darker now, more depressing in tone. But I don't know, I felt like it wasn't necessary, because it kind of, again, it made it a little bit heavy to watch. Overall though, I will say it was definitely watchable. It just felt randomly stuck together, missing out those interconnected plots and scenes that would have made it more seamless, that I feel like, again, the book naturally had time to do. So it's strange, I've got a weird balance. I feel like the book kind of had a lot of preamble that sometimes I would say maybe wasn't necessary. It was nice to read, but it almost didn't get to the point quick enough, whereas in the movie it got to the point too quickly, and a lot of stuff was edited and cut out that I feel would have made things make more sense, or at least be more satisfactory in watching. But there we are, those are my thoughts on Half-Blood Prince. I'm really glad to have finally watched it. I've been posting pictures on Instagram. One of my friends was like, she's not too long, like recently read them for the first time, I think maybe last year or the year before, and she was like, definitely get to the last book sooner rather than later, otherwise you're just going to keep putting it off and you're not going to want to know like the ending. And she's totally right. I think in my head I would like to pick it up like next month or so, but in my head I've got this idea of wanting to read it around October time. So yeah, that's kind of like my deadline. I want to at least get to it by October. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I know it's probably been a long one, and I'll catch you in another video soon. Bye.